Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
Broadcasting from the Cottage Studio, welcome to the Ho-Ho Show. And as always, I'm your host, Ho-Ho, and I forgot to do something. Let's go ahead and do it.
It's a privilege to be alive. We take it for granted too much. But before you can live, you have to survive. And that is not always an easy task. But on this eerie and dark night, there are no guarantees you are going to survive. Who will live and who will die? This Halloween, a maniacal surgeon known for barbaric experiments is on the loose in his asylum. Are you ready to meet Dr. Stein? Are you ready to match your wits against this maniac? Find out now at diabolicaldrstein.com. Meet your maker.
All right. So yes, we are but 9 days away from Halloween and the 5th annual Halloween extravaganza. The Diabolical Dr. Stein is what he's doing this year. Get your tickets over at Diabolical Dr. Stein. Just follow the link down below and use promo code HOHO for 20% off. That is promo code HOHO for 20% off this year's Diabolical Dr. Stein. And also, as a bonus, you will also be able to hear an encore presentation of the murder mystery, Manner of Death. I forgot the name there for a second. That was kind of funny. Daytrip goes, anticipates Thriller song. I know, right? I know. Just the quintessential Halloween music. Awesome stuff. Anyway, again, that is Diabolical Dr. Stein. Follow the link below. And 20% off ticket price. I'm looking forward to it. 5th annual. All right, guys. So we've got all kinds of stuff to talk about. We are, 2.5 weeks away from the midterm elections. And, just so much stuff is heating up. I mean, I don't know if y'all's been paying attention. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff happening in the news. Wow. Just all kinds of stuff. And it's funny. Hello, Vacker over there in YouTube land. Good to see you. He goes, woot, woot. What's up? So just all kinds of stuff of what's going on, and I tell you what, they're anticipating a shellacking, just a red wave, a shellacking. They're looking for the Republicans to win back both the House and the Senate. But here's the thing, guys. Every vote definitely counts this year. I mean, we need everybody's help to at least try to, granted, midterms, we're not going to get Biden to, sign any bill that conservatives put on his desk to sign. However, we still need to put them on there. We need to stop the Democrat agenda from continuing the whole 9 yards. But where we're going to start off today, because we're going to be talking some of the issues, some of the issues that the Democrats want to be part of the, of people's conversations. But we're going to be focusing more on what actually does matter to the voters, what they're seeing. And, of course, some other stuff we're going to be throwing in there as well. But first, I want to talk about this article right here. This is from in our capital matters. And this is something that actually is a little bit closer to home, coming out of Illinois. Well, I mean, I don't know as if the article itself comes out of Illinois, but, this is still something that is going to be on the ballot during this midterm election. The headline: Biden wants competitiveness unless it makes unions unhappy. Oh, we don't want to be making unions unhappy now, do we? But this is something that is going to be on the ballot this year here in Illinois. And that is the, making Illinois, I'm not exactly sure if it is right now, but I don't think it is, but making Illinois a right to work state. Now, here's the thing. All right. The union and I, we've got some history. Dad was part of a union for a while, and I was part of a union for a while. And neither one of our experiences were exactly positive. Neither one of them were. But one of my issues, and I'm sure this should be everybody's issues, especially as a Republican working at a job that forces you to be part of the union. One, your money, most of it that you pay in union dues actually goes to, paying for whatever they want to fund, as in, campaign contributions and different things like that. I mean, I forget what year it was, and this might actually be one of those years where, more money from the unions is being spent on campaign contributions than what's being spent on the people they're supposed to be representing. That, to me, doesn't seem like your union dues are being used for anything productive. They're not being used on you, definitely, especially if they're only being used in order for them to stay in power. Because for some reason, the unions, they're so amazing, so great. What they offer is so wonderful that they have to force you in and keep you in no matter what. I mean, it's amazing. You can vote yourself into a union, but when was the last time they allowed you to vote yourself out of a union? So in my opinion, right to work states are very important, and here's the thing. If what they are offering is great, is awesome, is amazing, then why wouldn't the union want the competition to see the contrast between what you can get without them and what you can get with them? You would think that if what they offered was so awesome, so great, if they did such an amazing job, then they would welcome that. But the problem is they don't. They don't want that. And so make sure that you keep in mind what is on the ballot. Don't let the lies sway you on what your choice is. And I tell you what, I was very proud of my state. I think it was the last election where they were trying to make it a progressive income tax here in the state of Illinois, because, we actually have a flat tax, which shocks me being a Democrat-controlled state. But, yeah, we have a flat tax, and they tried to remove that. They tried to get rid of that. And the things that they were lying about before the election was laughable. I mean, it really was. I mean, I'm sure that those of you that live in Illinois might remember some of the things, the mailers that was going out, the advertising that was being spent on it. I'm sure y'all remember what they were talking about whenever it comes to trying to change Illinois from a flat tax state to a progressive income state, and of which case it didn't work. I'm quite proud of my state for that one. So I hope the trend continues on this issue, very much so. So that takes us out of there. Let's go ahead and move on into some of the hilarious stuff that we got to talk about. Now, this article comes from CBS. One of these days, I'm going to remember what the Peacock is. I think it's CBS. I say that, but I don't. I'm pretty sure it's CBS News. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let me, hopefully maybe they'll throw something down in here that'll give me a hint. I don't see anything, but here's what the headline says. Biden warns Republicans will tear down his accomplishments if they win the midterms. What accomplishments? I mean, really, what accomplishments are we talking about that the Republican Party would tear down if they won the midterms? And not only if they won the midterms, but if Republicans actually did something, conservative Republicans, instead of doing what Republicans have done far too many times, that I am sure that none of us is actually going to even let them get away with this time. And that is putting their agenda on pause whenever what we need to do is roll back their agenda and get rid of some of the crap instead of just putting it on pause. But beside the point. Peacock equals NBC. Crap, I was wrong. Thank you. Yeah, Matt puts in here, he goes, what accomplishments? Exactly. That's my point. Although, I guess in a matter of speaking, he's accomplished all kinds of things that's been beneficial to him. And hello, Brian, over there in YouTube land. He goes, his accomplishments, high inflation, high gas prices, energy dependence, etc. Exactly. But that is what they went in there trying to do. I mean, he campaigned on getting rid of fossil fuels. And I mean, did they actually expect a different result? I mean, is he that stupid to think that trying to get rid of and shutting down fossil fuels, did they think that that was going to have a different type of outcome besides higher fuel price? Well, no. They knew what was going to happen. You know, the ridiculous part is, the ridiculous part about this whole thing is the fact that here they are experiencing highest gas prices that we've had since I don't even know when. I can't tell you if it's been the highest in my lifetime. I don't remember all of my life. I'm just saying I don't remember all of it. But it's pretty stinking high. I mean, guys, we were energy independent during Trump's presidency. We were a net exporter of energy. We are the only nation on the planet that actually has the ability, with resources, with everything that we have, to be completely 100% self-sustainable. We don't need nothing from nobody. And that included, that includes industrial. Granted, they've done all kinds of stuff to get rid of industry in this country, but there was a time whenever we were even independent on that front as well. We produced not necessarily all of our own stuff, but we produced enough of it that we didn't need anybody else. And for the first time in our history under former President Donald J. Trump, okay, Daytrip puts in there, I really think it has been highest in our lifetime. I'm about your age. Yeah. I think it's the highest it's ever been, but then I don't remember, some of, what, yeah, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that it is the highest that it's ever been. I'm pretty sure it's definitely the highest. Train of thought. Where'd that go? I hate it whenever that happens. But the thing is, crap. Yep, that train of thought just went completely out the window. Brian puts in there, goes, I'm 54. When I started driving, gas was 70 cents per gallon. Dude, I remember whenever I first started driving, it was under $1. I remember that. I remember being all ticked off whenever fuel went into $1 and over. I remember that. Yeah, he says that he's never seen it any higher. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's where my train of thought was. But we are the only nation that actually has enough oil in the ground, natural gas in the ground to sustain ourselves and export. We're the only nation that actually has enough farmland, enough land enough farmland to grow the crops that we need here. Enough land to be used as ranches for animals to be consumed here. The only nation that, at least at one point in time in our history, we had a thriving industry that we produced a lot of our own stuff. The only nation that has the ability to be completely and 100% self-sustainable. And Biden ruined that. Actually, the Democrat Party, period, has ruined that, because that's one of the things that they have done is high corporate taxes, forcing the industry outside the country if they're going to make any money. Can you blame a country for going outside of this country to make some money? No, you cannot. How can you? Because they think a high corporate tax rate for some reason is going to be good for the economy, and it's not. Yeah. So yeah, I think fuel price, this is the highest it's ever been, and it's pretty stinking high. I mean, I just need to. Okay, now here's the thing, though. Okay, back to that whole fuel price thing. All right, they knew what they were doing, because do y'all remember the first week Biden was in office? What did he do? Shut down the Keystone XL pipeline. Okay, lifted the sanctions on the Russia-Germany pipeline. Lifted the sanctions on that. I forget what the name of it is. For those of you in the chat, remind me, feel free. He shut down land leases, rejected the land leases, opened the freaking border up, got rid of the stay in Mexico order, catch and release, all kinds of crap. I mean, that's what he did, like his first week in office. Now, here's the thing. He also campaigned on, we're going to shut down energy in this nation. Now, again, what do you think is going to happen when you shut down the energy sector? It's going to make prices go up. Everybody got ticked because the prices were going up. But it's like, wait a second, what did you think was going to happen? And what they did in order to make themselves not look quite so stupid and incompetent is, we're going to use the oil out of the national oil reserves in order to kind of lower prices a little bit to where everybody doesn't freak out. Wait a second. I thought you guys were supposed to be proud of what you're doing. Proud to shut down all this stuff. But instead, oh no, they're not proud, because the backlash, they wasn't really expecting it, but I don't understand why they wasn't expecting it, because that's what he said he was going to do. This is what happens whenever you do it. What are you surprised of? The people that elected him in the office, what are you surprised about? That's what he said he was going to do. That's what he did. What are you surprised of? I wasn't surprised. Were y'all surprised? No. I doubt it. And it also cracks me up that you have, him going to, OPEC and talking with them. And what did his conversation consist of with OPEC? It wasn't a, hey, can you produce some more? And it actually came out not that long ago what that conversation consisted of. They were like, hey, they were like, you've kind of been messing around with the oil prices by injecting your own reserves oil into it. So it's what we're going to do in order to counter that is we're going to lower production. Well, that sucks. And they were like, yeah, that does suck. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. He goes, well, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you wait until after the midterm elections to announce that? And they said, yeah, sure. Did they wait? No, they did not. And we learned about it. Would that be collusion with the foreign country? Would that be trying to tamper with an election? Aren't these things that they tried to impeach President Trump over. It's amazing how all this stuff is one-sided, isn't it? Trip puts in here, nothing they do surprises me. I know, nothing they do surprises me either. Brian puts in here, goes, I was surprised the last election was the first time Democrats actually came out and didn't lie about what they was going to do. You know, and I don't know if I completely agree with that because, you know, the Democrats very often say what they intend on doing. And I mean, what was one of the things that Obama said was, I'm going to fundamentally change the nation. Nobody understood what his intentions were. They don't know what that translates into. Because, oh yeah, let's stop fossil fuel. That sounds great. We're going to go green. That's amazing. We're going to do it tomorrow. Wait a second. How's that possible? You know, when 88% of your power grid relies on fossil fuel, coal, natural gas, nuclear, how are you going to replace everything tomorrow? We ain't going to be ready for anything like that for the foreseeable future. We're talking 40 years. We're not going to be ready to replace coal as the predominant source of our power grid. We ain't going to be able to do it. We can't do it. The technology just simply isn't there. And it's not green. Just so you know. It's not green. They try to claim that it's green. It's not green. We can get into that if you want to, but it ain't green. I mean, if you actually paid attention to your power bill whenever they want you to do the solar power, this, that, and the other, they don't claim even there that it's green. They don't. Brian puts in there, goes, they just didn't tell you how their policy was going to screw up your life. And that's exactly true. They didn't tell you the implications. And nobody apparently was smart enough to put 2 + 2 together and come up with 4. How hard is it to do a little math? I mean, really, how hard, we're going to shut down production in the U.S., And OPEC and Saudi Arabia and all these people have flat said that, hey, the only reason why prices are going so high is because the U.S. stopped pumping oil. They stopped producing. They stopped putting oil on the market. That's why prices are going so high. They're decreasing supply. The demand is not decreasing along with it. That means prices are going up. How hard is that to understand? I have no idea. But apparently, only Republicans can do math. Apparently, Democrats refuse to do math. They refuse to do math. How about when Biden went and sucked Saudi? Wasn't that outstanding? Dripping with sarcasm. Absolutely correct. And yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, they flat said that, no, the prices are going up because you guys stopped producing. Well, can you produce a little bit more? We're not going to do that. In fact, we're going to lower our production because you guys put oil in there and we kind of like our profits. And he was like, okay, well, can you wait until after the election to announce that you're going to slow down production? And they were like, no, we're not going to play your game for you. We're not going to do that. We're kind of sick and tired of your Bravo Sierra. We're not going to do that. And that's basically what it amounted to. The accomplishments that Biden has done. Open the border. He meant to do it. That's one of his accomplishments. Did it have a positive effect on life in America and crime and fentanyl and human trafficking, sex trafficking? No. It had a very, very, very negative effect. Do they care? Apparently not. Apparently not. I did not know what the number was. Brian puts in here, he goes, did you know to build one battery for an electric car, you have to move 500 tons of earth? No, I did not. I did not know what the number was, but I do know that, that's one of the reasons why I say that green is not green. There's a lot of stuff involved in that. Just to get the lithium out is ridiculous. The amount of mining that they have to do to get it out is ridiculous. And all this stuff is being powered by diesel engines, huge diesel engines. Holy crap. Have you ever seen some of the equipment that is necessary and used for mining? Holy crap, it's huge. Holy cow. I thought what I drove was big. It ain't nothing. Dude, my vehicle the semi that I drive might as well be a Prius compared to some of the vehicles that they use to move earth and mine some of the rare earth elements that they use for electric cars. It's ridiculous. Them things are huge. And that's what they do. Green? No. Anything but green. But people are stupid. And that's what it amounts to. People are stupid. Sorry, hate to tell you, people are stupid. A person may be smart and intelligent, capable of rational thought, but people are blind idiots. Sorry, hate to tell you that. I don't mean to be so negative. I really don't. I mean, this is really a time that we're supposed to be unifying people because, a house divided will fall. That's one of the whole things about, dividing everybody by race, by, how much money you make and all this other kind of, that's why they did that, was to keep us divided. It's like, it's a race thing. Oh, no, it isn't. Oh, but they said it is. Oh, it's not. It's really not. Moving on. Have you seen a lithium mine and everyone is worried about climate change? And that's the thing. I've seen some of the stuff of what they do in order to get the lithium. And I tell you what, that stuff is completely toxic. It kills people. When you think black lung was bad, how they mine lithium, it's a joke. And there's no recycling it. Kind of like the wind turbines. There's no recycling it. They can't do anything. I mean, they are scrambling, trying to figure out a way that you can actually recycle some of that stuff. You buy an electric car, the battery goes out, you might as well buy another electric car because the battery is the majority of the price of the car as it is right there anyway. And you can't just swap the thing out because the whole, it's kind of like the warthog. The gun is so big, the vehicle, the plane was made around it. Well, the same thing is true with these electric vehicles. The batteries are so big, the car was made around it. You don't just replace. It's not like an engine. It's a little different. Anyway. This headline from Fox News. Jim Jordan, the only thing the left is committed to is their radical agenda. And keeping the population blind as to what they're actually doing. I mean, they're being truthful. This is what we intend on doing. But where they are being completely dishonest is what effect it's going to have on the lives of everyday Americans. That's where they lie their hind end on, is how it's going to affect everybody. I mean, they did not care about the border until certain governors and mayors started shipping them to Martha's Vineyard, to Chicago, to New York, to L.A., and Los Angeles and New York City. That's whenever they started to care. And they started saying the same thing that the border cities and border towns and border states have been saying this entire time. Hey, this needs to stop. Nobody wanted to listen to the Republicans whenever they were saying it. But now that Martha's Vineyard is being overrun by 50 illegals, that how long were they there? A day? If that? If that? I don't even know. I mean, they were they were shipped back off about as soon as they landed. It's like, hey, we're here. Oh, no, you're not. We might be a sanctuary island. You know, we might be that, but we just claim to be that. We don't really want you here. We don't want you jacking down our, cost of real estate. We don't want to be bothered by you people. Not in our backyard. This is Martha's Vineyard. We can't be having none of that. You gots to go. It's fine for you to be in Florida. It's okay for you to be in Texas. We want you to flip Pennsylvania and the well, what do they call them? The whatever, the states that could go either way. We want you there. We don't want you here. Not in my backyard. That's what you get. Now we're going to switch directions a little bit because on this article, the GOP voter suppression machine has a new target, according to Rolling Stone. Trans people is the new target for, what the GOP wants to suppress, the people that they don't want to vote. Now, here's the thing, guys, all right? I'm a Gen Xer, all right? I'm a Gen Xer. Newsflash, I don't care. I couldn't care less. We had, as a Gen Xer, we lived, y'all can vouch for this. We lived a life on the edge. We should be dead. Just saying. We rode our bikes all the time, no helmet, no knee pads, no safety gear. The only time we wore a helmet if we were on purpose doing something stupid that we knew we were going to get into a wreck on. And that was a maybe. We didn't use airsoft guns in order to play, whenever we played with guns. No, we used BB guns. And we didn't have gear that we wore. We just wore an extra layer of clothing. You might have put on some safety glasses to protect an eyeball. Otherwise, that whole, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. We took that seriously because that was a possible result. You might shoot your eye out. My father wore a special contact because that happened to him. He caught a ricochet in the eyeball. He didn't think that line was too funny. I thought it was hilarious. I mean, on occasion, his eye went, and that was just the thing. That's why he wore special contact, to keep his eye from not do this. That's true story. Just saying. Yeah, just saying. We drank from a garden hose. We rode around on our bikes all the time. Our parents, yes, they gave us permission to go outside, to go to our friend's house, but more so they gave us permission to come back home. During the summertime, you just didn't come home whenever you wanted to. No, you stay out and you play. We might be gone all week. Rode our bikes everywhere. Like I said, and we had, Matt put in there, he goes, we shot bottle rockets and Roman candles at each other. Yes, we did. We had playground equipment that was designed to kill you. Maim you at the very least. You go around and around until you puke. That was the game. That's what you did. Metal slides that would shear your hindquarters if you slid down it in the summertime. Launch yourself off of a swing. Land in rocks. And then pick rocks out of your leg for about an hour. Or just play and then just pick them out whenever you get done. We had toys that were designed to kill you. The darts. Did anybody play darts? Nope. But we threw them up in the air and we played chicken with them. That's what we did. We were weird. Yeah. You came home when the streetlights came on. That's right. Streetlights came on. It's time to go. Streetlight. Ran for the House. The bottom line is, we don't care. We had an education by Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop that said, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. That's gender. That is science. That is biology. That is all of mammalian biology, period. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. We don't care. Sexuality is completely different. Straight, bi, gay, that's all there is. That's it. There's not 51 different. This isn't Baskin Robbins, okay? There's not 31 flavors of gay. There's not. Straight, bi, gay. That's it. That's all there is. I don't care which one you is, but you're only one of those three things. And within those, there's different flavors of how you may dress and how you may want to present yourself. You know, you can be a cross-dresser. That's fine. We don't care. But what we're getting sick and tired of is this whole, you know, labeling this, that, and the other, the he, she, them, they, this, that, and the rubber. We don't care about any of that crap. You're not going to force that crap on me. I don't care what you is. Your biology is your biology. Your sex, you know, your gender is your gender. Your sex is something different. We don't care what you is, but don't force that crap down my throat. I don't care what you is. I'm not going to judge you either way. Look at it. I don't care. I'm a Gen Xer. I am beyond caring. I'm not no Karen. I don't care. I don't want to keep you out of the polls. I want you to be on the poll. I tried to get that out with a straight face. It just didn't happen. I don't want to keep anybody off the... I can't say that. Mm-hmm. I want you to vote. There we go. I said it. I want you to vote. Because here's the thing, people. Newsflash. There's a lot of gay, bisexual, straight people that are Republicans. Do we want to suppress that vote? No, we want you to vote. The only people that we're sick and tired of voting are illegals. The illegal aliens that don't belong here, those are the ones that we don't want to vote. Is that voter suppression? No. What do we need to do to stop the madness whenever it comes to voting? Well, for one, let's have, you know, election laws that make sense. Let's honor the election laws that we already have. Let's stop letting, by fiat, by hook or by crook, them making up and changing in the 11th hour election, not laws, but rules, because that's what they change is the rules. 11th hour, they're going to change them. That's what we need to stop. We need to correct what is going on with voters, you know, it's kind of sad that in the state of Florida, they wouldn't let them get the dead people off the roster. Wait a second. Joe Blow that died 10 years ago shouldn't be able to vote today. Let's get him off the roster. Doing that will eliminate, limit, restrict. It'll make it harder for people to cheat. But oh no, let's keep him in there. They wouldn't let them use federal information from the post office of change of address forms. It's like, wait a second. This person moved out of this jurisdiction and into this jurisdiction, and we can't get him out of the jurisdiction that he left? And you wonder why Republicans claim foul when that's the kind of crap you do. Why do gender reveal parties when you're going to let the kids choose anyway? Exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous on that crap. It really is. You know, whenever they started doing some of this stuff, it's like, oh, it's only going to be a matter of time before, you know, our girls in school get raped by a kid who just uses that as an opportunity, as an excuse to, go in there and cop a feel. And they were like, oh no, that'll never happen. That'll never happen. That's not what's going to happen. But it did multiple times. And they tried they tried to cover it up. They called one of the parents of said victim a terrorist for wanting something done. We have issues in this country. Issues that need to be fixed and need to be fixed now. We need to get back to common sense. We need to. It's the only way. But we got to get out and vote. And I'm not even talking about getting out and voting for somebody like Mitch McConnell. That guy ticks me off beyond belief, because he doesn't want, he would much rather see a Democrat get elected in the office than a conservative get elected in the office. And that's truth. They have pulled funding out of some of these states where conservatives are running against Democrats. Pulled funding. Why is that? What are they afraid of? Are they afraid that the conservative might actually hold their feet to the fire? That the conservative agenda is actually going to do something, demand something, and not let them just skate by doing nothing and coming up with excuse after excuse of why they can't get anything done? The old saying is that, the Republicans might hold office, but the Democrats hold power, because they will not give an inch on their agenda. But the Republicans do. Rhino Republicans are worthless. I don't like any of them. Lindsey Graham, no, not really. Even when he said some stuff that I was happy about, I didn't like him. I didn't trust him, because I knew that whenever the winds changed, so would he. He's not a rock. He's a boat on a wind affected by the sail. He ain't a lighthouse. He's a small little bitty ship. Small little bitty thing. Just a little bit of, and then next thing you know, he's changing directions. I believe this with all of my, he's over there. He believes something else now. The winds of politics changed, and he changes right along with it. Kind of like the Clintons. I mean, how many times did the Clintons change their view on same-sex marriage? They changed their view quite a few different times. Hillary, Bill, both of them. They changed their view quite a few times. Why? Because they did and said what was politically acceptable and expedient at the time. That's what they did. I quite personally, I think that the government should not be in the business of marriage. Any of it. I mean, how are we supposed to be? What is it? The 13th Amendment? I think it's the 13th Amendment, the whole equality thing, that we're supposed to be equal under the law. How can we be equal under the law if because of your marital status you are taxed at a different rate than somebody else? Why are you taxed at a different rate based off of how much you earn? Is that equality under the law? No, it is not. So why is it even acceptable? I have no idea. You tell me. Yeah. Sorry. I'm better. I'm fine. I'm good. Okay. I don't get it. Republicans don't want to keep any individual away from being able to vote. We believe one person, one vote. Not multiple votes. Not voting in multiple jurisdiction. You are one person. You get one vote. Only by legal citizens. Because anything else is tampering of foreign people. Whether you want to call it a foreign government or just foreign people, doesn't really matter. It's still tampering. It's still illegal. It's still wrong. Brian puts in and goes, no, Mitch McConnell and his wife are worried that they will expose him and the Chinese connections. Yeah, well. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, it's not that, there's corruption in D.C. all across the board. It's not like the Republicans are exempt from it. I mean, Mitch McConnell, I don't trust him. But as a prime example, look at Nancy Pelosi and her husband, Paul is his name. It's illegal to do insider trading. It's illegal to have insider knowledge that has not gone public and to trade according to said information that is not public. To have insider knowledge, it's illegal. Okay? But that's how Paul Pelosi has been making a butt ton of his money, is having insider trading information because of his relationship with Nancy Pelosi and her position to have said information, making policies that will affect these big corporations, and they trade accordingly. That's illegal. That's called insider trading. If you and I were to do that, we would be in prison. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You're going straight to prison. Done. End of story. But whenever Paul Pelosi does it, it's Then they got to make a law that says that they can't do it. It's like, wait a second. The law's already written that of insider trading is illegal. So why is it you got to write another law? You don't. Why don't we enforce the first one? Why do we let these people, here they want to have, and pull the IRS, pull the tax records of all the, from President Trump, a guy who has not taken one red cent of his, presidential salary. And yet we're going to allow people like AOC, like Nancy Pelosi, like all these other kind of people that have become rich as a public servant. These people are not our leaders. They are our representatives. They are supposed to speak for us, not to us. That's hilarious. Matt puts in and goes, I have one word for all the politicians. Dracarys. Mm-hmm. And I understand that reference, sir. I might be pronouncing it incorrectly, which is very possible. It's been a little bit, been a minute since I've watched it, and I've not watched the newer stuff. Same word though. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when I return, we got a few other things to talk about. We're going to be talking about so let's just talk about, let's just cover this right quick. Oh wait, no. We'll get into that on the next, because we're going to be talking about what they think matters, what they want us to focus on during the, for the upcoming election. And holy crap, I'm already an hour, wow. Okay. We need to, I'll be right back.
You are correct. You are correct.
It's a privilege to be alive. We take it for granted too much. But before you can live, you have to survive. And that is not always an easy task. But on this eerie and dark night, there are no guarantees you are going to survive. Who will live and who will die? This Halloween, a maniacal surgeon known for barbaric experiments is on the loose in his asylum. Are you ready to meet Dr. Stein? Are you ready to match your wits against this maniac? Find out now at diabolicaldrstein.com. Meet your maker.
The Diabolical Dr. Stein this Halloween, 7 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific. You know, that's 8 to 9 Mountain Time. That is 9 to 10 in Central and 10 to 11, as long as I got my math correct, over on the Eastern side. Just follow the link down in the description below, diabolicaldrstein.com, and reserve your tickets today. Use promo code HOHO at checkout for 20% off. That is promo code HOHO at checkout, 20% off. I'm excited. 5th annual Halloween extravaganza. It's going to be an amazing time. Not only are you getting the new episode of Diabolical Dr. Stein, you are also going to hear an encore presentation of the murder mystery, Manner of Death. Yes. Good times. All right. So since we are almost at 1 hour, and holy cow, this hour has flown by. Holy crap. It has flown by. It has flown by. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of move a little quick. All right. We're going to move a little quick. And is what you can do in order to follow along with the show. You guys can head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab for the magazine and Flipboard, and there you will see all of the articles that I am using and referencing here on the show today. Just use today's date of 10/22 of 2022, and you guys can see that. So what does the Democrats want us to be focusing on this election season? Well, one of them is the January 6th insurrection. Wait a second. Has anybody been charged with insurrection? No. We still have people that are imprisoned that have yet to see their day of court and have yet to be even charged with anything, still being held prisoner. Let me put this in terms that you'll understand. We have political prisoners in the United States of America. Something that I never thought I would say in my lifetime. Something that you think that you would only hear about in Putin's Russia. People that are imprisoned because they disagree with the Democrats. I'm not going to say the other part of it because YouTube doesn't like me saying that, so we'll just keep it there. Y'all know what I'm saying? Is there anybody out there that think that this is a farce or isn't a farce? Do they think there's any reality to any of this whatsoever? Does anybody think that what's going on at the January 6th has any, anything to do with truth? And if you do, I'm sorry, and I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it flat out. I'm going to be honest about it. I don't want to mislead you, but if you think that what's going on with this whole January 6th thing is real, is true, has any bearing on reality, you're an idiot. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Let's look at the facts, shall we? Let's look at the facts. Who is part of this January 6th committee? Well, Jim Jordan, obviously. Oh, wait, no. They didn't allow him on the... They didn't let him be anywhere close to this. Ted Cruz. Oh, no. They didn't let him anywhere close to this at all. In fact, the only people that they allowed in the January 6th panel are people who voted to impeach Trump. Never Trumpers. That's the only people that they even allowed. And let's be honest on something else. They are not allowing any cross-examination being done whatsoever. They're not allowing defense. They're not allowing defense of President Trump in there. They're not allowing any opposition whatsoever. They're not even allowing people to testify that have negative things to say about what was going on. You're not hearing truth at all in this January 6th thing. And the only thing that they are trying to throw out there is insurrection. Their lives were at stake. Guys, no. They were escorted out there. You know, I would actually like to get a timeline as far as when they were removed versus what time they started letting people in. Because, yes, there's video proof of the police, of Capitol Police, moving the barriers and letting people in. Surveillance cameras, people who were there that seen it. There's evidence, there's proof that some of these people were let in. So I would actually like to know a timeline of when they were escorted for their lives, as in the people that were there, good old AOC who was so distraught, The timeline of when most of these people were evacuated, moved off site, out of harm's way, and when the charade actually started. I'm kind of curious. I'd like to know the answer to that. They don't want to talk about, why Nancy Pelosi turned down the offer of, the National Guard, and none of this stuff, guys. All right, this is my point. It's a farce. It's a show. That's all it is. That's all it is. If you believe otherwise, I'm sorry, you're a moron. You are not allowing yourself to see facts, and you're not even watching what is going on and seeing it with your own eyes. I mean, if you actually seen people that were, always Trumpers, as part of this, and you actually seen opposition going on, then maybe, but you're not seeing any of that. It's a show. It's a game. Why do we still have political prisoners in the United States of America? I don't know. What's the other thing that they think that you should be focusing on during this election? Abortion. Even though most Americans, according to polls, according to everything, most Americans agree that, maybe abortion just shouldn't be 100% on demand. Maybe there should be some type of limitation. That's not what the Democrats want. And here's the hilarious part about this. You have the Democrats that want to claim that they are 100% pro-democracy, but whenever they don't get their way using the Democrat process, what they rely on is the courts to make a ruling. That's how Roe v. Wade happened in the first place. They didn't get the law that they wanted through the Democrat process of laws being written. They didn't get what they wanted. And so they took it to the courts to circumvent the Democrat process. That's what the Democrats do all the time. They claim they want the Democrat process. They claim that they want the people to be in charge. But when the people don't agree with what they want to do, they circumvent using the courts. Why do you think they're so ticked off about conservatives actually having a majority in the Supreme Court? They don't get their way no more. And they're infuriated about it. Yeah. They can't just ram down the throat with the courts. I mean, that's why they say Bravo Sierra crap like, the Constitution is malleable. Okay, it's a living, breathing document. However, everything the Supreme Court says, like Roe v. Wade, is etched in stone. That's why they say crap like that. Wait a second. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. A judge doesn't have the right to change the meaning of the Constitution. He or she is supposed to defend the Constitution. That's what they represent, is the Constitution. How can you change the very document that gives you power in the first place? Then none of it's real. If that's the case. But that's what they do. That's what they claim. But what does matter to the American people? What is the American people focusing on during this election, during this midterm election, and going into even the next presidential election? What are we talking about? What's affecting us? What are we talking about at the dinner table? What are we talking about at work? Well, easy. We're talking about the economy. We're talking about inflation. I heard a number today that was staggering. A number that I'm glad I wasn't drinking at the time, because I probably would have spit it out. Now, the closer you are to retirement, the more this should appall you. That due to the policies of the Democrats, with the Democrats shutting down the economy, due to this whole, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. You know what I'm talking about. And with these bailouts, the first bailout was like $1.9 trillion, if my memory serves me correctly. And the number that I heard, just if it wasn't today, it was yesterday. If it wasn't yesterday, it was a day before. But 401k, the things that we use, the average citizen, as part of our retirement, fell to $1 trillion. In this nation, everybody's 401k fell to $1 trillion, which just so happened to be the same amount of money as part of the bailout that was done. The $2 trillion bailout that the Democrats demanded happen. Way to go. Good job. The cost of everything is going up. And that's one of the things too with the cost of fuel. I mean, how do you think anything you buy gets to your doorstep? Whether you be ordering it online, whether you be going to the store. It gets there via semi, by a truck, at some way, shape, or form, at some point in time. The product that you were buying, whether it be on a shelf in a store or whether it just magically appear on your doorstep, it got delivered by an 18-wheeler, or, if it's got super singles, by a 10-wheeler, whatever, a semi, a vehicle that requires a Class A CDL in order to drive it. That's how it got to you. Newsflash, they operate on diesel fuel. Newsflash, diesel fuel prices goes up. The cost of delivery goes up, meaning products now cost more. Why is anybody surprised about this? It's only a matter of time before everything starts getting more and more expensive, and that's what we're seeing. Not only that, but this is also something that was brought on by all the stimulus packages that has happened. That's why interest rates are going up. That's why the Fed had to do that, because they have to eliminate some of the money in the market. Because if you have people that are sent home, forced out of their job, forced out of work because of to flatten the curve, or because of a vaccine mandate that people don't want to get, because of that, you're not having the natural occurrence of people earning a wage, making, producing, providing a service, the natural flow of money in the workforce. Instead, you have people that are told to go home, not producing, not providing a service, and yet still drawing money from the government. Well, that's money that doesn't belong on the market. It doesn't belong in the economy. It's money that has devalued the worth of our currency. The best thing that I have heard on this is you take a shot glass, okay? You take it just so happens, you take your whiskey of choice, okay? You take your whiskey of choice. This ain't my whiskey of choice. This ain't even whiskey. It is whiskey. You take your whiskey of choice, all right? You pour it into a shot glass. What does that cost? That's $2. That's going to give you one shot glass worth of drunk happiness. You take that shot glass and you empty this out into another glass. And you fill this thing, you put the shot glass back in here, and you fill this up with water. And then you pour it out into a shot glass. Well, now you've diluted said shot by however big the glass is. And you're still charging that $2. Well, now instead of having one shot for one shot worth of drunk, you have to drink the entire bottle to get the same amount of drunk that was found in that original shot glass. That, ladies and gentlemen, is inflation. That's what we got's goings on right now. Is all this money that has been poured into economy from people that weren't working, from people that were forced home, forced out of their jobs. That's what happens when you dump a lot of money into the economy that doesn't naturally occur, that didn't arrive through the natural exchange of wages, providing a service, production, and all this other kind of stuff. People are still buying. People weren't producing. People weren't providing a service. Money wasn't, that wasn't originally in the economy was being spent in the economy. It was money that the federal government magically printed and then gave to people. It didn't belong in the economy. So now is what the feds have to do is they have to get rid of that money in order to get prices back down. How you doing that? Interest rates. But now, considering you have all this extra crap, extra money, you've got to get rid of it too. And since it costs so much more, the prices go up because now you have to spend, let's just say there's 10, let's just say there's 10 shots in this glass. Well, now that one shot, but it's not the shot that's important. It's the alcohol that's in it. But now you just got to spend and buy 10 shots. What used to be $2 is now $20. That's inflation. To get the same product, to get the same amount of drunk, that's inflation, people. That's how that works. Fuel prices going, skyrocketing. Education, that's another one. Crime. I mean, one of the things they're doing here in Illinois is, that whole, that whole cashless bail. And that's going on in a lot of different places, the whole cashless bail thing. Second-degree murder, they arrest you, they process you, they let you go. They don't put you in holding. They'll take your picker, they'll fingerprint you, and then they send you on your way. You don't have to pay any money. You don't have to pay your bail. Nothing. They just let you go. Free to do it again. People going into stores and as long as you don't steal more than, $900 worth of product, then that's okay. You can just go. We're not going to prosecute you. We're not going to arrest you because your need far outweighs the need of the business to make money. And then they wonder why businesses are shutting down, like Walgreens shutting down. Why? Because they can't afford to operate in some of these jurisdictions where they don't seem to care about the business. And then you have people complaining that they're moving out. Walgreens is moving out. They care more about profits than what they do about, serving the community. Well, yeah. If you can't turn a profit, you ain't going to do it. Why would you? People are stupid, I'm telling you. And these are the things that's on the minds of most Americans. The economy, fuel price, crime, education, and the border. These are the things that we care about. And these are the things that we need to be voting on this November 8th. I've said it before. I'm one of them people that there was a time when there just really wasn't much daylight between Democrats and Republicans, especially whenever you're talking about people like Mitt Romney, Lindsey Graham. Not a lot of difference between the Democrats of the rhinos, Republican rhinos and Democrats. Not a lot of daylight between the two. But we have some options. People are getting fed up with what's going on in Washington. They're getting fed up and tired of being ignored, like their voices don't matter. We're getting sick and tired of the double standard. With Nancy Pelosi's husband on insider trading, with Hillary Clinton getting away with her scandal on classified information, and then what they're doing to former President Trump just to try to keep him out of office. We're getting sick and tired. We're getting tired of being ignored. This is a pivotal election to stop them from moving forward with their agenda, giving us an opportunity in 2024 to get somebody in there to get rid of everything and actually drain the swamp, because that's what we need to do. Anything less is not acceptable. So we got to get out and vote. Period. There is plenty of daylight between Democrats and Republicans. Why are you surprised that things are going so badly? There shouldn't be any surprise to anybody. Just being honest. Ladies and gents, that's all I got for you today. That's it. That's it. For links to the story that was referenced, not referenced in this show, head on over to thehohoshow.com. Click on that newsfeed tab, and there you'll see the magazine over on Flipboard. And check out the articles. Check to see what's going on over there. I think there's like 28 stories in there. Yep, 28. 28 different stories in this magazine. Not a lot. I've had much more. And don't forget, head on over to Diabolical Dr. Stein, link down in the description below, to get your tickets today for this year's Halloween extravaganza, Monday, October 31st. That's when Halloween is. And use promo code HOHO for 20% off ticket price. That is 20% off ticket price using promo code HOHO at checkout. Diabolical Dr. Stein. Follow the link below. Y'all have yourself a great one. Till next time. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.